The night was a suffocating blanket. Not the comforting weight of slumber, but the damp, heavy kind that stole your breath. The air hung still and thick, tasting of impending rain and something else. Something metallic and faintly unsettling. I was walking home late, a bad habit. Born of a demanding job and an inability to say no. The suburban streets, usually a predictable tableau of neat lawns and silent houses, felt alien. Each shadow seemed deeper, each rustle of leaves louder. The first sign wasn't visual. It was a sound, a rhythmic tap. Tapping on the pavement ahead. Not quite running, not quite walking, but something in between. My pace quickened instinctively, drawn by a morbid curiosity. I immediately regretted the streetlights. Old and inefficient cast pools of sickly yellow light, punctuated by vast stretches of impenetrable darkness. Then I saw him. Under the flickering glow of the next street light, a figure stood unnaturally still. He was tall and possibly slender, and dressed in a pristine white suit that seemed to glow in the gloom. But it was his face that stopped me cold. His lips were stretched into a wide, unblinking smile, revealing rows of perfectly white teeth. It wasn't a friendly smile. It was a horrifying, unnatural contortion. I froze, every instinct screaming at me to turn and run. But my legs were rooted to the spot, held captive by a paralyzing fear. The figure began to move a slow, deliberate jog that ate up the distance between us with unsettling speed. His head was tilted slightly to one side, his smile unwavering, his eyes fixed on me with an unnerving intensity. I fumbled for my phone, my fingers clumsy and unresponsive. A screen illuminated my face, revealing a mask of pure terror. I needed to record this, to have proof of what I was seeing. I hit record, the red light, blinking a desperate plea in the darkness. The figure was getting closer. He jogged past me. A fleeting glimpse of that horrifying smile burned into my memory. I could feel the chill emanating from him, a palpable aura of wrongness. The air crackled with an unspoken threat. He continued down the street, the tapping of his shoes fading into the oppressive silence. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, my heart hammering against my ribs. Finally, I managed to shake myself free from the spell of fear. I had to get out of there. I started walking again, faster this time, my eyes darting nervously from shadow to shadow. I reached my car, my hands trembling as I unlocked the door and slid inside. I locked the doors, started the engine, and pulled away from the curb. Glancing in my rearview mirror, he was standing across the street, perfectly still, his white suit a stark contrast against the darkness. He was staring directly at me. I drove home, my mind racing. The image of that smile seared into my brain. I pulled into my driveway, rushed inside, and locked the door behind me. The house felt cold and empty, every creak and groan amplified by my heightened state of anxiety. I couldn't sleep every time I closed my eyes. I saw that smile, I heard the tapping. I felt the chill. I got up and paced through the house, checking every window, every door, every dark corner. I went into the living room. My wife was asleep on the couch, a book resting on her chest. I watched her for a moment, her peaceful face a stark contrast to the terror that gripped me. Suddenly, I heard a noise, a faint scraping sound coming from outside. I crept to the window and peered through the curtains. There he was, standing under the old oak tree in my front yard, his white suit gleaming in the moonlight. He was looking up at the window, his smile wider than ever. My blood ran cold. I went into the bathroom to splash water on my face, hoping to regain some semblance of composure. As I looked into the mirror, I saw him. He was standing in the doorway behind me, perfectly still, his smile unwavering. I peered through the peephole of my front door. He was standing there right outside, his face pressed close to the lens, his smile filling my entire field of vision. He didn't knock, he didn't speak. He just stood there staring, smiling. The static consumed the screen, a blinding white noise that filled my vision. A message flashed, end of recording. And then a faint whisper, barely audible amidst the static. What was that? A single frame flickered into existence. A fleeting glimpse of his face, his smile still there, still watching.